In this video, we're exploring one of the key pedagogies of the digital approach. And it's vital that we get these right, because if we don't use digital in the right way, we really aren't making use of the affordances of the technology. And in this video, we're looking at creating rather than consuming. We tend to spend a lot of time consuming content, but digital media gives us the opportunity to create. And one of the easiest and what I call low-tech way of creating content is through using videos, creating videos. Now, we spend a lot of time on YouTube is a great resource, and there are many other spaces like that where we can watch video content. That's great. But even more powerful is the ability to use our technology to create content, because in the creating is the learning. And so this is an example of how we can create content and engage our students in the learning process. I want to show you a little example. I set my students, after many years of lecturing a particular course, and some of the content is just so dry and so boring. And I'm thinking to myself, how do I make this interesting? I know this stuff. Why am I standing here lecturing the same stuff year after year after year? So I thought to myself, well, there must be a better way. I need them to become the teachers. I need them to become the people that engage with the content, that share the content. And so what I decided to do is I decided to say, right, I'm going to give you a project where you are going to teach the class about this content. You are going to create a video. You're going to create a movie that will create and share this content. But not just any movie. It has to be original. It has to be creative. In fact, here's an example. Let me show you an example of the assignment that was set to this class. So here's an example of a project. Now, as I said, it was particularly boring subject, and often the students would be lost, especially in the technicality of the detail. And it was to do with, the content's really not that important, but to do with database management. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to engage the students in a creation pedagogy, where they're involved in creating the content. So essentially what I did is I told the students they could pick any topic that was covered in the course. And I even gave them some suggestions, for example, locking as a solution for the lost update, the working and purposes of data warehouse, or cloud services, how the cloud works, etc. So it's a particular technology course. And then what I did is I gave them some examples, and I gave them examples of videos that have been created, which are really powerful videos that show how you can use video for teaching and video in a creative way. And so I gave them and uploaded those as an example so they could get a feel for how you could do this. Then I had a marking memo that would guide them so they would understand how they were going to be marked. And this is quite important, because a lot of what's important in this process is trying to engage the students so that they are original and creative. So I said that was important. Now, I didn't want to just see the content in the textbook reproduced, because obviously the textbook had certain ways of doing things. I wanted them to come up with metaphors, with interesting scenarios that would explain the concepts that we were exploring. Secondly, I also gave them a whole lot of tools that they could potentially use, and we will look at this in this particular section. We'll look at some of these tools. These are really simple tools. The most basic tool that the students could use is their cell phone. Grab the cell phone, walk out there and record. And immediately they're involved in creating. They're using a creating pedagogy, and it's so powerful. There are other tools, and we'll also have a look in the section. There's tools like Powtoon, where they could use animation to get across the message. And these tools all enable our students to get involved in the creating process. Secondly, there were marks associated with the clarity of their communication, because obviously while being creative is very important and creating is important, it's important that their message is clear. Then obviously there's the accuracy of the content that they're trying to communicate, and obviously the completeness finally of what they are saying. Now all of these come together, and so what makes it such a powerful approach is, in order for students to even create the video, they have to understand the concepts, they have to understand all the details, they need to create a story or a metaphor out of it, and then they've got to create this. But they are so enthused that they want to do it. And when they have the final product, I can assess them on so many levels. I can see whether the metaphor holds. I can see what their levels of understanding are. I can see how creative they've been. I can see if they have an ability to communicate this clearly. And the fun part at the end of the day is we can have these videos, get the class all together, break out the popcorn, and show them as movies. And it's amazing, because then you get the opportunity for peer evaluation. And the various students can look at the various groups' videos and start to give feedback. So here's an example of a video that was created in response to this particular exercise, and you'll see this group took two approaches. They took an approach which sort of comes out of the chemistry jock video where they wanted to make a music video, but they also used Powtoon to create some animation, and using both of these they created a very powerful video that explained some quite technical and confusing concepts, but in a simple way.
Hi, today I'm here to help you understand cloud computing services. Firstly, what is cloud computing? The term cloud computing or working in the cloud refers to performing computer tasks using services delivered entirely over the internet. It's a movement away from applications needing to be installed on computers towards the apps being hosted online. Cloud service.
Instead of buying more servers, working at a mediocre pace.
Yeah, we could do that. Mediocre? Mediocre! Yeah! All I want is cloud, I don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. No easy access only. Ain't no mediocre. Don't want no mediocre. I won't be no mediocre. You a bad connection. Standing on the mediocre, all over the mediocre. Standing on the mediocre.
Right, you can see the fun that those students were having. That's creating. That's tapping into their curiosity, into their creativity, and getting involved in creating, whether it's the animation, whether it's the video. It's something that the youngest kids can do to university students, and it's a powerful pedagogic approach. It's something that technology enables us to do, and what we want to have a look at in the next video is how we can use simple tools like Powtoon to achieve this. So whether you're just grabbing your cell phone and creating a video and making a rap, or doing a little bit of fancy animation, this is the pedagogy we want to use in the digital environment.